All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm not quite sure what episode we're on, but this one's going to be all about removing the oil pan. I'm going to do this as a separate video just because I haven't seen an oil pan removal video on YouTube, and so I wanted to do a special video just for doing that. So it might be a short episode, but that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to tell you guys what method I'm going to be using to remove it. If at the end of this video you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal, and let's get straight into it. Okay, so we are under the car. As you can see, this is our oil filter, which I need to take this thing off. And our oil filter goes connected to our oil pan, which is right here. Now, as you can see, there is a big K-member right here that is in the way of the oil pan. If you wanted to drop this oil pan, you could do two things. You could lift up, so lift the engine up and hopefully clear enough space to where you can drop the pan and take it out. Or you can do what we're gonna do today, which is cut this K-member. There are people that will cut this off and then they sell a replacement kit that makes it a bolt-on, to where at the flanges, or at the welds I should say, you attach a flange and then you can make this to where you can bolt it on and off. There are debates as to whether or not you really need this K-member, but for now I'm gonna cut it off and it'll probably sit in my garage. If I feel any noticeable difference, then I'll get to either welding it back on or bolting it back on. But for now, we're gonna get this K-member out of the way so that we can drop this oil pan. Okay, and to cut the K-member, we've got a metal cutting blade and we've got our Sawzall. Obviously, cutting into the car at all always sucks. It's never fun, but I'm gonna go down there, be a manly man, take my tool and get the job done. So I'll probably time lapse for you guys so you guys can see me cutting. But other than that, don't forget to wear glasses, safety glasses, and if you want to wear gloves, go ahead and put gloves on. But do those things, make sure you're safe, and let's go cut. All right, as you can see, our K-member is off. One thing I'm gonna do off camera is go down there and grind down that metal, that way it's not super sharp. But other than that, we've got the K-member off. Again, remember to wear safety glasses, because I went back down there a second time to clean up one of my cuts right here, and I had already taken my glasses off. I forgot. I went back down there, I was cutting, and my eyes got lit up with like little metal particles, and so that was fun. Remember to wear your glasses. But other than that, down here, our K-member is off. We're gonna go down there right now. I'm gonna show you guys what the oil pan looks like. I actually don't know like how many bolts and stuff are holding that oil pan up and what all is connected to it. So let me go and look, and then I'll come back and talk to you guys. But successful, we got that K-member out of the way. One important thing is to get a good blade. I bought this one at Home Depot. It's a thick metal cutting blade. I think it's Diablo is the brand. It was like $4. The last time I tried to cut, I was using an old blade and it took, 4 minutes, and then the blade snapped. This blade cut through that metal like it was butter, and it made the job a lot easier. So, like always, get good quality tools and the job is easy. So let me go down there, look at that oil pan, and I'll be right back. All right, so it's been a couple of minutes. I've been looking down at the oil pan. I just wanted to say, on cutting the K-member, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea either to wear ear pro, because my ears are still ringing and it's been like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So glasses, gloves, ear pro, and you're good. Okay, so this oil pan has a whole bunch of stuff, but right now I'm removing all the accessible bolts. So I got a 10mm off there. I'm gonna take this 10mm off, take this 10mm off. There's one up there. I'm up in here. I'm gonna take that one off. There's another one up in there. Take that one off. The oil cooler has to come off. There's these, which are 15mm. I think there's 8 of these that I counted up and around. The oil cooler has to come off. These lines are probably going to come off. These are the same as those transmission lines that we did. They just got a pin, and then you can pull them off, or wrench them off, I'm sorry, with the 15. And then it starts to get a little more complicated up here, because you've got this black metal piece that's holding these wires are running through up through here. And so we've got a 10mm that is hidden behind this section here. So you've got to find a way to get up into here. I can't seem to see how to remove this piece. If I find it, I'll tell you guys, but for now I'm just working around it. There's a 10 mil up in here, and then we move further up, which, let me see if I can get you guys a shot. It's the best I'm gonna be able to do. But up here there's another 10 mil, and I think that's the furthest up bolt. So I'm gonna start getting all these bolts off. It's very complicated. There's a whole bunch of junk down here, but I'm gonna start getting all those bolts out. Most of them are 10 mils. If I run into any problems, if I can find a way to get this off, that'll make my job a lot easier, but I'll let you guys know. All right, it is now nighttime out. I've been battling with this oil pan for what feels like an eternity, but I'm going to tell you guys the struggles that I had, how I finally got the oil pan off, and just kind of the annoying stuff. But first off, as you can see, the oil pan is off. I think the first and most important thing are the bolts. So starting up here, we count together, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there are 15 bolts that hold the oil pan up. Now from there, there's a whole bunch of connections and things that have to come off. Like one is here, an electrical connection that's there that has to be unplugged. And then there are other things that need to come off, i.e. the oil cooler. The oil cooler goes here, that needs to come off. And then it attaches up here, that needs to come off. So basically anything that's on this needs to come off. Now I'm gonna move to the bottom of the car to show you guys the problems I had down there. But again, up here we've got 15 bolts, and then the stuff on the side of the oil pan needs to come off. Okay, I was actually able to bring the problem up to you guys, but this little harness holder, I guess, what runs through here are some electrical lines, actually important electrical lines, so be careful when you're removing this stuff. But this thing sits and mounts basically like this under the engine, and so it's in the way when you're trying to get the pan off, and you can't remove this until the pan is off. So all you really have to do is get these bolts out the side that it mounts to, get them off, and then just try and push this down as much as possible. So that was problem number one, this stupid thing. Okay, problem number two, I'm going to shine some light on it. So this is what I believe is the oil pump. I might be wrong, but that tube right there extends down, and it's far enough to where when you have the oil pan off, if you just try and take it, as soon as you unbolt everything, if you just try and take it off, it can't clear this little tube that's being illuminated. It just won't clear it. It doesn't matter how much you pry. I hit it a couple times with a mallet. I let some frustration out, and it just will not clear. So how do we avoid that? The answer to our problems is right here. These are our motor mounts. There's one here, one over there, and it's an 18 millimeter. Basically all you do is loosen that up as much as you can. Loosened it up to where it's, on threads. And then got my jack over here. It's attached to the transmission and lifted, and I was able to get enough clearance from here to where I could clear that tube that we were just talking about. I should have done that earlier. I stayed down here struggling for longer than I had to. So now you know, it doesn't matter if you cut this K-member, which I did. Even if you cut it, you're still gonna have to lift the motor up just a little bit. So bring it down to its last threads, get a jack, and then lift. And then with that clearance, you're able to pull the oil pan out just fine. So all in all, there are bolts that are down there that are very difficult to reach. When it's up there, there's a whole bunch of lines, whether it's the transmission lines, the engine oil lines, electrical lines. There's just a whole bunch of junk that's in the way. So the bolts are super hard to get off. But it's doable. I did it with all just normal tools. I didn't have any specialty tools, anything that bends at 45 degrees or anything like that. I was able to get it off. So first thing are those bolts. Getting them off is a little bit difficult, but it can be done. Second is that little black electrical harness thing. You want to remove that down as much as you can. And third is getting the motor up. That way you can clear that oil pump tube or pickup tube. Clear that, and that way you can get the pan out. Do those three things and you'll be done. I don't know, 30, 45 minutes tops. Not like me that it took, 3 hours or something. So learn from my mistakes, use my knowledge. Okay, so with all that said, that's gonna be it for today's video. I know things were kind of, I mean, I wasn't obviously showing you guys what I was doing as I was under the car, just because it's kind of hard to record down there. But I hope that you can use this video, use this knowledge when you're doing this yourself, because it'll save you a lot of time. Right now, I have a massive headache. I've been under that car for longer than I want to admit. I want to go get food. I'm hungry. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comment section down below and I'll answer them, because I do not want you to suffer the way I just suffered. Other than that, stay tuned for next episode, which is going to be actually taking the timing cover off and then putting the new cam in. I'm going to be able to do all that tomorrow. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal, and I'll see you guys in the next one.